What up? What up? It's your boy, Mr. B-EAZY 215. No Easy Outlet, the podcast. We back. We back to chew on the fat with more Eagles talk and more Eagles content, because there's always more news going down in the bird nest. We back. And what we got to chew on today? What is the fact that we about to chew on today about this, my Philadelphia Eagles football team? Y'all gotta stop talking. If you believe what you say and you are who you say you are, y'all gotta stop talking. It's the only thing. Let your play do the talking. We hear this all the time. Let your play do the talking for you. Because right now, y'all been talking and talking and talking for weeks. Going back and forth with players, fans, media. You've been running your giblets more than you've been playing. And those are the facts. I mean, welcome to Philly. We keeping a beam around here. When you up, we up with you. But when you down and you playing bad, we gonna tell you about yourself. We not gonna sugarcoat it. And it ain't nothing to sugarcoat about this season. Third worst collapse in Eagles history. And these are facts. 2 other times have something like this happened. I never saw the first. I remember the second, and I'm tuned in for the third. I think the first was Rich Kotite going 7-2 and then losing 9 games. Collapse. Chip Kelly starting out 9-3 and finishing 10-6. Not making the playoffs. It was a tough year to make the playoffs that year. 10-6 we was. Dallas was 12-4, and we ain't get in. And I think the Carolina Panthers at 7-8 won a division. Make it make sense, but that's just the way the NFL go. And this year, starting out 10-1 to finishing like what is it, like 11-6? 3 major collapses. 3 different time frames, 3 different coaches, 1 common denominator: the organization. This is an organizational problem. And it's a generation gap. I think a lot of guys who was older back in the times coming along was more in tune with getting along and going along with the program, just happy to be a part of something, long as they getting their money. But in this social media age, this 2024 age, this 2000 and ups babies, like, or late 90s, 2000s up babies is different. They don't care nothing about that. Image, self-portrayal is everything. It's worth more than money. I think that's what we seeing. They checked out on this organization, checked out on this coach, checked out on the message, checked out on the fan base. When you start attacking us, talk about we too loud at home games and all we do is support y'all, buy all your crap. And for years, there was 1-year players. You buy a jersey, they not even here the next year. For, I don't even, what was that, a nice 5-6 year window where we was just, no man. And then they started changing numbers. Now they can have any number. So you just buying jerseys on jerseys on jerseys on jerseys and memorabilia and bobbleheads and supporting foundations and donations and going to games and concessions and all this other stuff. And they have the audacity to blame their shitty, poor play on us, the fans, because we making too much noise. Not that we insulting players, hurling things at players, stuff like that, but we being too loud so they can't call a little play. They can't hear each other. This is why I'm still beating the drum on the fire Nick Sirianni train. I'm still leading the band. beating that drum too. I can't beat it no more because all of this points to him. He had Dallas Goedert on WIP, and listening to these players talk about seeing the schedule, looking at the schedule, and who are these players to decide that teams are the worst teams in football? I've heard this, like the Arizona loss, the Giants loss. I've heard them use this mantra before. Who are they to decide this? I don't understand. It's like seeing a guy call somebody soft or whatever. They fight, he lose, and he like, yeah, I lost to that soft behind dude right there. Well, if you look, what does that make you? That's the kind of questions that I have for Goddard and the rest of the team. You running around here talking about other teams and their play and what they are and what they ain't. What are y'all? As a supporter, a fan who has never been in this position that I can remember off the top of my head in many, many years as an Eagles fan, where I'm at a lack of words and a lack of willingness to defend y'all. I'm at a lack of words and a lack of will to defend y'all against Cowboys fans and the 49ers fans. And I'm at a lack of will to defend y'all in the break room at work against teams. So I don't understand where y'all get the audacity with how y'all played for weeks. And these excuses have to stop. This is why I come from the top, because we hear nothing but excuses from the top. So no wonder it trickles to the players. Players have excuses. Like to get Goddard talk, we looked at the end of the schedule, saw these horrible teams at the end, like we ain't got to do much to beat them. Who are y'all? What did y'all win to make y'all feel like y'all got the right to poo-poo, overlook, think ahead on anybody? You got to the Super Bowl. You had an alright year last year. It was one of the better Eagles years, but that was last year. I don't remember one team that I ever watched supporting the Eagles and all my support and come back living off of last year's hype. Could you imagine T.O. and McNabb and them coming back in 05 after the 04 Super Bowl loss, talking about what they did last year? Trying to live off that hype from last year? First of all, it's a week-to-week league, a game-to-game league, a year-to-year league. So I don't know, maybe is it Nick living off of what he did last year transpiring over to the team, but all this carryover from who we was is ridiculous, because that's not who y'all not even the same team y'all was this season. And to say that we was looking forward in the schedule, overlooking some people, whatever the case may be, however y'all want to take them words, go to WIP or YouTube, whatever. I'm sure the clips is up there. Every host on WIP gonna be bringing them clips back up and talking about it all night. Tune in, you go listen to it for yourself and digest what you get. I mean, it's the same glass of water, it's the same distance between filled and empty, but we see it half full, you see it half empty. I don't know, you be the judge. But I'm tired of this talking. The way they are talking resembles the record. The record makes perfect sense when you listen to everybody talk. Whether it's Jalen Hurts with the cliches that we fell in love with, whether it's Nick Sirianni looking like he just got his decree from his divorce settlement and he lost it all every time he take the podium, or it's random players like Lane Johnson and these other guys talking. It just don't sound like y'all was locked in. It don't sound like the main thing been the main thing. It don't sound like y'all remembered that the standard was the standard and what the standard stood for. Going into this game, I'm still listening to people making excuses for the season. This is why I say y'all got to stop talking. You're still making excuses and putting emphasis on what stuff happened in the season. The past is the past, and until the time machine come out that we got access to, y'all can't go back and change nothing. So I don't even see why you still talking about harping on what happened. Your whole mantra should be like, the season is over. We focused on the playoffs. What happened in the season happened. Today, everybody, the mantra y'all keep going to, which means nothing to me, but I get the mindset you try to put yourself in, is everybody 0-0. Well, hell, the Carolina Panthers started out the season 0-0 with everybody else. Look where they are now. So that 0-0 mantra don't mean as much as you trying to make it mean. Come on. Get back to the heart of Philadelphia. Dig into the passion of Philadelphia. This is why we need a real coach. You can't be up here with rocky quotes and quotes from other people. These is grown men making millions who went to a Super Bowl last year. Some of them been there before, won one, and been to one. Made playoff runs. You gotta come better than some cliches that anybody can see in a movie, that anybody can quote. These is grown men, some of them looking at their last days in their Eagles locker room, and you playing movies and quotables. Come on, man. Where's your bag of tricks? Where is... Okay, if Nick don't call the offense, he don't call the defense. He got here as an offensive coordinator. He brags on the fact that that's why he got the job, because he was some type of offensive guru. We ain't seen it yet. But you don't call plays on offense or defense. Your whole mystique is you are a rah-rah players coaches who know how to motivate people and get them up. Your coordinators are failing. Your rah-rah speeches are failing. The players are looking ahead, taking games off, and stuff like that. That's all coaching. That all starts at the top. If you go to your job and your supervisor just don't have the employees motivated, work not getting done, people production is way down because they waiting for a peak season or something crazy like that, people getting fired, people losing jobs. It might be easier to replace the manager than it is to go through a hiring process and find employees and teach them the process over again. It's probably easier to replace the manager. Get different motivation for the team. A different voice in the room. Some things go... I heard that with Andy. I heard it with Doug. I mean... Like... The messaging gets old. Players don't receive it after a while. And that's why I don't even buy into the whole... Oh, these players love Nick. They'll run through a wall for Nick. You hear all the players coming out, how they support Nick and how Nick is great and how he sticks up for him, this, that, to the third. Well, let me ask y'all a question. How long y'all been Eagles fans? I mean, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe the first coach I came in with was Ray Rhodes. Big fan of the Thunder and Lightning area. Charlie Gardner, Ricky Waters. I saw a lot of things. And last time I checked, even though we know Chip Kelly destroyed that team with his moves and the cutting Deshaun Jackson, trading Shady, moving Foles, moving off of Macklin, all that stuff. We know what Chip did. But we never heard disdain or dislike for Chip until Chip was gone. Then players came out talking about all the things that was going on, the support of Riley Cooper and his actions, and we know what that's about. You know, but we didn't hear about none of this stuff until after Chip was gone. Did we hear how players and personnel and how he was behind closed doors? So all of that, the players love Nick and they'll do anything for him. You got to take that with a grain of salt, the hugest grain of salt, and throw it out the window. Because what else are they going to say? Like just like the A.J. Brown thing when everybody was saying A.J. saved the season, A.J. talking has changed the tempo in the room, and we came out and got nothing. I said it didn't mean anything then. I don't know what people thought he was going to say. Did you think that an organization who don't let coaches coach, picks the coaches for the players, decide what players are active and inactive, and for all we know, they might be secretly calling offensive and defensive plays behind the scene? You think that that's the type of organization that's going to allow players freedom, free will, to come out and voice how they really feel? Why do you think we never heard about the Eagles' lackadaisical practice habits like that until Javon Hargrave left? Don't you think these reporters and stuff talk to Javon Hargrave every day at his locker or had the opportunity to? Or you don't think maybe he wanted to say something but couldn't? Yeah, so we gotta stop with these interviews. get what you can from them, but take everything with a grain of salt. The negative, the positive, and everything. Because these players are professional liars, like the head coach. They know how to PR their way around some stuff. That's why when you get a little something, it's got to be frustration and built up because they just not caring about protecting the mantra anymore. So no, I don't believe the players like Nick. I don't believe. I mean, I don't believe they like his leadership, his guidance of where he's trying to take them. They might like him as a human being. They might like the guy who comes in the room and even though it's your fault, he gonna say it's his. You know, I mean, who don't like the manager that if you make a mistake, he gonna come in and take the fall to the upper ups and then talk to you about it. I mean, that's awesome, but that don't mean that we making the most or getting where we need to go out of anywhere. I mean, Nick seems like a great players coach, but sometimes you need a stern voice in the room. What happens when you become too much of a players coach that you can't be stern and tell a guy what you need to tell a guy when he need to hear it? Those just my opinions on some more of the state of the Eagles, because we're going to be chewing on the fat of this up until the playoff game against the Bucks on Monday night. And long Tuesday if we eliminate it. But if we shall go on, we're going to keep chewing on the fat, keep chugging along. Hopefully we get to order that nice dessert before Monday night when we get, you know, after the game, post game, we get to chew on the fat of that. But before that, hopefully we get the appetizer before the entree, which means we get the Cowboys getting beat by Jordan Love and the Packers before we ever play a game. It's your boy, Mr. B-EAZY 215, No Easy Outlet, the podcast. Your boy, we in the building. You know how we go. Tune in for more. Follow the content on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. No Easy Outlet, the podcast. Your boy,